Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, a watch that is a bit of an enigma. So this is the 2011 104-piece limited edition Hublot Big Bang Aerobang Niemeyer, and you could see from the Brazilian colors on the dial, especially in the lead up to the World Cup in 2014, that this is a Brazilian-themed watch, perhaps dedicated to a football player or maybe a race car driver or an Olympian. No. It's actually dedicated to a 104-year-old architect, and I am delighted that Hublot, which tends to worship celebrity, decided to honor a man who's famous in architectural circles, but almost unheard of in the Hublot loves football world of hype and circumstance. So this is a watch dedicated to a man who was already 72 years old when the original Hublot launched in 1980. Oscar Niemeyer was perhaps the last living original modernist architect, and by modernist, I mean the original modernists. I mean people who were mostly dead by the 60s and 70s. He outlived all of them. In fact, he outlived a lot of the postmodernists who followed them, and he almost made it to his 105th birthday. So this watch, made in 104 pieces, celebrated his 104th birthday in 2011. He worked over 8 decades on over 600 projects, but he's most famous for designing the Brazilian capital of Brasilia all in one go. It was one of the only fully designed top-to-bottom cities where every thoroughfare, every road, every alley, every building, the layout, the acreage, right up to the governing plaza, conceived all in one piece as a unit, basically an architect designing on a city scale. And so that is what he's most famous for. This watch right here is fascinating because I can't say there's a whole lot about it that references his work directly, but it is an appealing watch, and we'll go through all of the features now. So it is a Hublot Big Bang Aerobang, which means it's a big bang with a skeleton dial, 44 millimeters in diameter in tantalum. It is 14.8 millimeters thick. It's 55.8 from lug tip to lug tip. And so it's a big watch, but maybe not huge by the standards of Hublot. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, it's large, but maybe my wrist is either the largest that can't wear this watch or the smallest that can. And maybe ironically, Niemeyer, who is quite compact by his 104th birthday, seemed to wear the watch well in press photos that were taken at the time. And I give him full credit for that. He had all of his faculties. He took the prototype, which actually I think was numbered 104, and so that was his personal example. And unfortunately, I can't claim to have even as beefy a wrist as a 104-year-old man, so you're going to have to decide whether this fits on 16 centimeters. Taking a look at the strap, it's a combination of rubber and a Hornback cut of alligator leather. You could see that cut right here. Prominent because it's often used on Royal Oak offshores. It's something we're less familiar with on Hublots, but it looks good, it looks rugged, it's an unusual cut to use on a watch. You could see here rubber on the bottom, that idea of having two materials. We've got the Hublot H logo in the underside of the clasp chassis, and you can see how the strap sort of buckles under and then it tucks under the clasp, and the opposing side of the straps, there's no need for strap minders, and it is a twin trigger release, so it pops open only when you press both triggers, so you've got a measure of security. It's a push-down crown, but it's 100 meters water resistant. The crown is actually polymer coated, and so are the chronograph pushers. You can see we have little plastic inserts on each side that represent sort of the gaskets flanking the primary bezel. And there's actually an inner case. A lot of people get very confused about why these always say titanium on the back. The inner case that holds the movement in the dial and provides the water resistance, that is made of titanium. The outer case is made of tantalum, and it is a weighty watch. We'll bring in Sammy just to give you a sense of what tantalum weighs in a watch. Keep in mind, 18-karat watchmaking gold is slightly lighter than tantalum. So a watch made of tantalum will be a little bit heavier than an identically sized 18-karat gold watch. So there you go, 184.21. By the way, this is 14 hundredths of a gram right here. I checked. All right, now looking at the watch, it's familiar. We've got these H-style bolts to remind you that Hublot made the watch, and we've got a bezel that is matte, like the entirety of the watch. It's all Media Blast. We've got an open dial, and we have Brazilian colors because Niemeyer, despite his name, is Brazilian, and he was born in 1907, which was to say that by the time he began practicing, he was basically already a middle-aged man in the heart of his career in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He lived an extraordinarily long life. He would have been a young man during World War I. So he witnessed the entire breadth and scope of the evolution of modern Brazil, and he designed accordingly. You can see the dial has a sapphire disc that bears the individual numerals for the date, and I'll demonstrate all the subsidiary setting modes here. Pull the crown out there. Make sure we're not in the date change danger zone. Sure enough, we were not. You can see we've got the hacking seconds function. We've got the quick set mechanism for the date. And then underneath, we have Hublot's version of a Valjoux 7750. You could see the H counterweight of the seconds hand. You could see Hublot silk screened onto the underside of the primary sapphire. On the reverse, you can see the National Congress, which is at the head of, if you think of Brasilia as shaped like a bird, the National Congress, or the center of government, is up at the head of the bird. And so this is taken from Niemeyer's original sketches, and you can see a reproduction of his signature right there. Inside the case, we've got that Hublot version of a 7750. Automatic winding with unidirectional action, stop seconds, quick set date, 4 Hz beat rate, 27 joules in this variant. It is a cam function selector with an oscillating pinion, which is a type of lateral clutch that has hardly any jump or stagger. So it's a very seamless system that looks almost exactly like a 7750, and again, a 42-hour power reserve. Now, I understand that having a watch like this dedicated to Niemeyer could be a little bit controversial because Niemeyer is a professional artist and Hublot is famous as the ultimate hype train for the wrist. But I actually think this is a rare example of Hublot doing something that's exceptionally soulful and thoughtful, because Niemeyer is part of the fabric of modern Brazil. And given that Brazil, in its current form, is sort of a very modern country, he's sort of like the architectural forefather of Brazil. And as a pure modernist, unreconstructed, he is himself a little bit controversial. They were maybe a bit too idealistic. Maybe they oversimplified the challenges of constructing a built environment to be lived in, as opposed to being admired from a distance. And that led to postmodernism and all of the movements that followed modernism. But as a purist vision of architectural idealism, you can't get much better than Niemeyer. And so this watch is a fascinating tribute to a man with few equals and, frankly, a very broad departure from Hublot's usual celebrity hype. I think it's a very soulful concept. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.